G'day guys, and welcome back to another video. My name is Luke, a preferred content creator for Bless Unleashed, and today I'm welcoming our PC and PS4 players to the Bless universe. Now, it's releasing very shortly, and this video is going to be directed at new players, mainly you veterans. No information here for you guys, but for the new players, plenty of tips and tricks, as well as many different guides down below, links in the description for rare mounts, ancient chests, smugglers, leveling guides, regionals, everything that you're going to need to get ahead first in Bless Unleashed. Let's jump straight into it. Upgrading and why it's important. If you don't upgrade your gear, you will face monsters along your journey that will have gear score warnings. What gear score warnings are basically doing is it's reducing the damage that you output to the monster and increase the damage that you receive. Upgrading your gear is absolutely imperative. If you fail to do so, you'll struggle doing content as you go, and it will virtually be impossible for you to progress without increasing that gear score. Now, in order to do that, you have three options. 1, common. The common enhancement is mega cheap, but your gear can break and it can also downgrade. So for example, if it was a +2, it can go to a +1, and in turn it will break. So there are a little bit of things you need to worry about when selecting your way to upgrade your gear. The other option is the Master Enchanter. Now the thing with the Master Enchanter is it's incredibly expensive to upgrade your gear. So it requires a lot of star seeds, which you accrue on a daily basis, which is basically the game's premium currency, which allows you to buy things off the marketplace. This one is a little bit better, but again, the cost is huge and probably not worth it until you get to end game when trying to upgrade mythic pieces to those last couple of enchantment levels. The other thing is the unlicensed vendor. Now the unlicensed vendor is basically used only to stack fail stacks. Little bit confusing, but links in the description below to TKE's guide, which has proved very helpful to a lot of people, so thank you very much to him. Basically the unlicensed, which is found at Goldstone, I'll just bring it up on the map so you guys can see what I'm talking about. It's actually up north, and you'll come up here around level 20, 22, depending on how quickly you level, and it's basically found in this encampment. Now, the thing with unlicensed is it's incredibly cheap to do the upgrades, however, it can completely destroy the item. So you wouldn't use this on anything that's mega valuable to you. It is not worth the gamble. Some people did this at launch, and sure, they did get ahead with some of the pieces, but more often or not, these pieces break. So if you come here, it's only to gain fail stacks. And what are fail stacks? Basically, every time you fail an upgrade at this vendor, you gain 5% success rate for your next upgrade. Should the item break, you gain 7.5. So what you end up doing is you end up stacking the fail stacks to 12.5, sometimes 17.5, just depends how lucky or unlucky you get. If it upgrades, you lose your fail stacks. If it keeps failing, the chance increases. So basically that's how it's done. The other thing to notice is use offhands when you try and do this, because the offhand cost will be significantly lower than the weapons and the armor. So if you use offhands, it's much better off on your resources. Just a secret little tip there. Not secret little tip, just the more you know kind of thing. Worrying about gear early on. Yes, it's important to upgrade your gear. I've said that. But you shouldn't freak out about continuously upgrading your gear by going to the marketplace and buying gear for an extortion amount. So basically what's going to happen is people are going to rush their leveling, get to endish game, and then start getting B grade pieces to put on the marketplace to sell for a ridiculous amount of star seeds. It happened on Xbox, it's going to happen on PC, and it's going to happen on PS4. Now, what you need to be smart about is that the more people that get to that point, the less they're going to cost. And to be fair, you'll get there yourself in time. It's much better than what it was when Xbox released, so you got to be mindful of this. So don't rush to the marketplace and go start buying B grade gear just because you want to quickly upgrade your gear score. It's completely unwarranted. You're just basically filling people's pockets with money, literally. So just be mindful of that, be careful. Don't buy things off the marketplace unless you absolutely have to and you're really stuck for whatever the reason. So that's just my little tip. Try and avoid it if possible. Alright, so there's more underlying things for Bless Unleashed, like ancient chests, rare mounts, and smuggler locations. Now, I can't go into detail with these three because I could literally talk about them for 15 minutes each. The links are down in the description below, as well as a few images on screen for you now. So basically, there are rare mounts that will spawn periodically all over the world. They're literally everywhere. They're on some pretty significant timers, so you're going to have to work that out by the last time it was tamed, and you can only really get that information from the person that did it. So it is a little bit dicky in this circumstance. Now, ancient chests are also chests that look like inventory loot chests that you'll see throughout the game. So they're basically little chests that contain like a piece of a shard that you combine for an inventory slot. But there's also chests that appear on your mini map, which will be ancient chests. Now this ancient chest will have really good recipes for crafting, which is incredibly rare. So the people that generally get them first make millions and millions. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on PS4 and PC. They also have cosmetic items which sell for absolutely millions at this point of time in the game. I'd expect that if anyone gets them early on, that they might only go for 100 to 400k star seeds, which is still a lot. But if they do, I would urge people that are interested in cosmetics to buy them early on, because later on in the game they get incredibly expensive. Now, this all is going to depend on how many people are farming them on both PS4 and PC, but it is prudent to know. So just keep an eye out for that. All that information will be down below, so you can reference that at your own time. Sorry, I'm not going to go through it now, but there is just a lot of information to cover. So there were a few images that you saw then, and all those links will be down below for your review, I suppose. Yeah, enjoy. So I should just take a break here and say that there'll be a lot of links in the description below to a lot of community guides from myself and others, whether it be taming, leveling, upgrading your gear, ancient chest locations, smuggler locations. All of that will be in the description below. If you want to get a head start in Bless Unleashed, I urge you to watch those handful of videos. It will get you ahead. It will clue you in on a lot of the mechanics that the game actually fails to mention, that the community managed to kind of put together these guides and walk through. So they're very valuable. There's more underlying things for Bless Unleashed, like ancient chests, rare mounts, and smuggler locations. Now, I can't go into detail with these three because I could literally talk about them for 15 minutes each. The links are down in the description below, as well as a few images on screen for you now. So basically, there are rare mounts that will spawn periodically all over the world. They're literally everywhere. They're on some pretty significant timers, so you're going to have to work that out by the last time it was tamed, and you can only really get that information from the person that did it. So it is a little bit dicky in this circumstance. Now, ancient chests are also chests that look like inventory loot chests that you'll see throughout the game. So they're basically little chests that contain like a piece of a shard that you combine for an inventory slot. But there's also chests that appear on your mini map, which will be ancient chests. Now this ancient chest will have really good recipes for crafting, which is incredibly rare. So the people that generally get them first make millions and millions. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on PS4 and PC. They also have cosmetic items which sell for absolutely millions at this point of time in the game. I'd expect that if anyone gets them early on, that they might only go for 100 to 400k star seeds, which is still a lot. But if they do, I would urge people that are interested in cosmetics to buy them early on, because later on in the game they get incredibly expensive. Now, this all is going to depend on how many people are farming them on both PS4 and PC, but it is prudent to know. So just keep an eye out for that. All that information will be down below so you can reference that at your own time. Sorry, I'm not going to go through it now, but there is just a lot of information to cover. So there were a few images that you saw then, and all those links will be down below for your review, I suppose. Yeah, enjoy. Crafting. I hope this has changed. I really, really hope this has changed, but it might not by the time the game launches. They're saying that they're gonna have an overhaul with the crafting system, but haven't really heard much information at this time. So this information is subject to change. Now, the crafting is not worth doing. Like, it's just not worth doing at all. The items that you need don't become available till later in the game. I should say you can go to those locations and actually farm those materials in the high level and come back to make them, but by the time you do that and stuff around, it's just not worth it. You can get these weapons and armor just by trekking through the story, hitting those regional bosses, and get it done. The crafting in this game is very, very lackluster. I don't know anyone that went out of their way to craft weapons or armor at all, especially through that leveling process. The only reason why I do it myself is because I craft gear which I have endless materials for to smush them at the fire to get artifact cores to upgrade my gear. It's literally the only reason I do this. So for the people that are thinking about, you know, jumping in, gonna experience the crafting and mining the ores and cutting the trees and the herbs and all the rest of it, it is mega lackluster. Now, again, just quickly, it is subject to change, so I don't know if it will. Hopefully it will, but for the new people that are coming into Bless Unleashed, crafting, don't worry about it. Alright, regionals. Should I do them? Why do I care? Questions answered. When you start the game, regionals are not that important. Yes, they give you bonus XP, and yes, if you're trekking through these areas, especially at the start of the game, they're definitely worth doing. Not only for the XP, but loot drops that you get, the reward that you see. Now, it's prudent to know that this reward that you see is only giving me purple gear because of my level. When you're lower level, you're going to be getting D grade white gear, which is to be expected. So as you progress leveling, the rewards increase as you go, so that's nice. The whole thing is, should you go out of your way for the regionals? Probably not. Just stick to the story and progress, kill mobs as you pass them, go a little bit out of your way to keep gaining XP as you go. If you hit the story quest constantly and just go smash, you'll get to a point in the story quest where you can't progress because you don't have the level requirements. So just make sure you do take your time and hit up a couple of regionals as you progress through your story, through the exploration of the world. The other thing to notice is that there are boss regionals that contain a loot chest. The loot chest contains gear, always worth doing, always, no matter what. When the game launches, there's going to be hundreds of people smashing these bosses. They're going to die in a second or two. Definitely worth doing. It's prudent to know that all these regionals and bosses reset after specific times. So just keep an eye out on your map. Make sure you keep diving into what's important. So for example, what I feel like is important is early on this the grassland giant box is incredibly valuable. You'll get some decent gear out of this one. The other field bosses that you see or what you encounter early on, not so much valuable, but everything contains gear which can be smooshed for those artifact shards which are important to upgrade your gear. So everything is worth doing. Don't steer away from it. If there are some regionals where you go, oh, that looks like a bit out of the way kind of thing, and the XP is not great and the reward's not great, don't do it. Just focus on the story, focus on even grinding mobs is more beneficial than going out of your way to hit a regional with minimal rewards. It just doesn't make sense. So that's a very quick overview of regionals. Just watch your map, they will reset. Worth doing if you're especially passing them. If they're out of your way, I would not. Guys, if you liked the video, please remember to leave a like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications for any future Bless Unleashed content. It will be coming a lot, especially when PC gets up and running. Twitch streams are going to be obviously increasing when that does happen. But for all your kind of guides and documentation, any questions that you have, please feel free to reach out, DM, Twitch, Discord, comment below, whatever you like. I'll do my best to help you guys. Thanks very much for watching. We'll catch you next time.